Well, we got a Fox News alert for you. According to the mainstream media, the elections is two special elections in the state of Georgia and South Carolina were going to be referendums on Donald Trump. If that were the case, good news for Donald Trump because the Republicans won both of them. In the state of Georgia, Karen Handel beat John Ossoff 52-47, and in the state of South Carolina, Ralph Norton beat Archie Partner by a score of 51-48.
So let's bring in former Secretary of Education, a deep thinker. Of course, he worked during the Reagan administration as a drug czar. Former President H.W. Bush, Fox News contributor Bill Bennett. Bill, what changes today?
Well, we'll see if anything changes in the Democrat Party. Maybe the pollsters will change. You know, too close to call becomes 6 points, right? Yeah. But I don't see it. You know, we were talking there on break, Brian. There's no straitjacket like ideological straitjacket, and they're in one. Look who the leaders of their party are. Look who commands the crowds. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. They're talking about Kamala Harris from California. Now we hear Eric Holder. These are people of the left, and if they continue to go to the left and believe that's where the country is, they miss the country. That's not where the country is. There are a few people. You'd mentioned Joe Manchin, and Joe Manchin is much closer to where the center of the country is, and the Democrats should take note of that. But I don't think they will because they have moved so far left, and they seem committed to it. So I'm not sure this is a lesson they can learn. St. Augustine has a phrase called invincible ignorance. This may be a case of invincible ignorance. Can't be penetrated. We'll see.
Well, you mentioned Bernie Sanders, you mentioned Elizabeth Warren, and the collusion and corruption and this and that. And that's not what America wants, we're being told by the Republicans and by middle America and according to these polls. But when you talk about those examples from the Democrats, I just think negativity. I just think hate and yes, vitriol and rhetoric. Right. And you talk about Joe Manchin. We have Joe Manchin on our show, and he's so positive and so happy. Yeah. What do the Democrats need? If they don't have Joe Manchin, do they need some new faces and something to excite that base again?
Yeah, they need to check the bench. They need to check the AAAs, the AAs, and see who can come in. But yeah, look, what is the Democrat agenda, Ainsley? The Democrat agenda is resist Trump, fight Trump, take Trump down. Sure. Now, even a lot of people who aren't crazy about Donald Trump. But doesn't that get old? Doesn't it just? It's so negative. A, it's old. B, it's negative, which doesn't win hearts and minds in America. And C, it's not an agenda. Yeah. I mean, what's the policy here? But what are they proposing? Well, you can say we have problems with our health care and with other things, but at least we're proposing things. What are they proposing other than take down Trump?
Sure. And that's why the president is going to go out to Iowa a little later on today, a trip that he had scheduled earlier. He's going to be pushing agribusiness, things like that. But, of course, people are going to be talking about health care because it sounds like Mitch McConnell is going to unveil his plan tomorrow, and then they're going to chew on it for a week before they go ahead and try to pass something in the Senate before the 4th of July. But, you know, the number one thing, Bill, I hear, and I'm sure you do too, from the folks, and that is, okay, Donald Trump is the president. Why don't they just give him a chance? Whether it's the media or the obstructionists in Congress, just give him a chance to get something done.
Yeah, well, because they hate him. They're not going to give him that chance. But the challenge for us is to get something done. And we have to do this despite this opposition, despite the fact that they want to do everything in their power to stop. Yeah. We have got to get some stuff done. I take pleasure in that result last night in Georgia and in South Carolina. But I think we've got about 6 months, maybe 8 months, and then we have to have points on the board. We have to have some legislative accomplishments, or I think some of the faithful will begin to lose heart. So, I think that time is extended by this negativity of the Democrats. The shooting, the other things, people don't want any part of that. Yeah. And I think that has helped Republicans because they're not the party that engages in that kind of vitriol. You know, we got to get some stuff done. Positive. If negative is bad for the country, as Ainsley was saying, positive is great. Positive agenda and achieving it is important for the Republicans.
What happens is a lot of the other networks and a lot of the talk shows are getting ratings beating on Trump. And Trump is a fighter, so he kind of he multiplies that by going at him, and they have another day. The fact that he's held his fire on Russia, the fact that he talks about tax reform, North Korea, he met with the Ukrainian president who just flooded him with praise yesterday, who had Mike Bloomberg on another network saying he's got probably a 55% chance of getting reelected, and he had a great message and Hillary had no message. It's stopping the floodgates. It's making people look at tax reform, health care, his foreign policy. And he's happy looking at his report card.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He does seem, there's a certain undaunted quality to him, isn't there? And I have mixed feelings, Brian, about this, stepping into the fight all the time and stepping out. You know the story of the Irishman who walks down the street and sees a fight going on? He says, "Is this a private fight or can anybody get in?" And that's, that's sort of Donald, Hey, wait a minute, there's a fight going on. They're fighting about me. I want in on this fight. But my old professor, my former professor Dershowitz, is right. He should stay out of some of these for his own well-being. Going to Iowa, let me just comment. Remember how strong rural America was to his election. I think it's very, very important. And think about how foreign rural America is from the precincts that send all the money to John Ossoff.
And think about the 70-year-old having Tech Week, and that's part of it, bringing technology to the rural community. And I think this is just part of it. And almost everybody he met with didn't vote for him, but they're still showing up because it's about the country. Bill Bennett, thanks so much.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, guys.